Welcome back to the Sophia Sanctuary. This is day 3 of our Lenten journey. Celtic Lent, 40 days of devotion to Easter by author David Cole. Today's reading from the Bible will be 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verses 24 through 27. Now, yesterday we talked some about the different types of martyrdom that the Celts experienced and talked about and literally lived in their lives, and where some of those traditions had come from. And today we're going to talk about a little bit more about green martyrdom and how the Celts themselves felt about this, and how they felt about spiritual fitness in itself. In a book called The Water from an Ancient Well, David gives the example from this book about people that are, a gentleman goes into the gym, and he gets into the gym, and there's all this wonderful equipment, and everybody's laying by the machines talking and eating and drinking and enjoying themselves. And the guy looks at the club manager and basically says, what's going on? What are you guys doing? Why are you, this is supposed to be a gym. And the manager says, well, no, our members think that that's too much to do, and it's too much exercise, and it's unpleasant, so we don't do that. And it's kind of a silly story, absolutely. But if you think about it, that's kind of how the Celts would look at us today, many of us, and how we practice our spirituality and our love for Christ. In the book, David quotes, the ancient Celts engaged in robust spiritual exercises. They weren't afraid to sweat. The stories of Anthony of Egypt inspired them. They paid attention when Anthony spoke of ascesis, a Greek word that literally translates to rigor and denotes spiritual discipline. Furthermore, and this had great impact on Celtic spirituality, and Anthony insisted that spirituality required physical practice and great exercise. The Celtic Christians took green martyrdom very seriously, partly because this could include the lay people who had everyday jobs such as farmers and wives and cooks and mothers who are connected with the monastic community. It wasn't just for monks and nuns who had committed to white martyrdom as well. We too, in our everyday lives, can experience green martyrdom. Find a spiritual practice that works for you. I'm a bishop, so obviously one of my spiritual practices is divine hours, and that works for me. I find that way of praying brings me much closer to God and reminds me throughout the day to pause, and whether I'm working with someone or I'm even in my own yard gardening, I can stop, I can say my prayers, I can listen to the music, and I can see the Spirit that moves through us in every particle of life and creation. That's my particular ritual, my particular discipline. Find the one that works for you. And I think that if you find that and you commit to that practice on a daily basis, that you will perceive a difference in your life. You'll perceive a difference in how you interact with people. And there'll be a peace, a sense of repose within your own soul on a daily basis. Carve out time to spend time with God. in whatever way that moves you and brings you closer to the divine that exists within you, and the Spirit and the Father without you. Now I'd like to go on to the reading. Again, our reading is 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verses 24 through 25. Do you not run that the runners in the stadium all run in the race, but only one wins the prize? Run so as to win. Every athlete exercises discipline in every way. They do it to win a perishable crown, but we an imperishable one. Thus, I do not run aimlessly. I do not fight as if I were shadow boxing. No, I drive my body and train it, for fear that after having preached to others, I myself should be disqualified. The word of the Lord. And now today's prayer from the book. Gracious, loving one, you have given me a body to care for, but it is not separate from my soul and spirit. May I see that each are as important as the other. May I be committed to the spiritual disciplines which you draw me to, so that I can be as spiritually fit as I can be. Amen. Thank you again for joining me in our Lenten journey. May the peace of God be with you. May the love of Christ be with you. May the grace of Spirit be with you. Amen. Bishop Sophia Angela.